A motorcycle sent to protect the peloton took out a two-time Tour de France champion at 49 km/h. The footage from that rain-soaked alpine bend tells a story cycling wasn't ready to face. The impact on stage 15 rewrote the entire race. The disruption occurred at kilometer 168, right in the final 20 kilometers of the route heading into the Col d'Aspin. Live television captured the entire sequence within a brief 17-second window, from 3:42 and 18 seconds to 3:42 and 35 seconds. A sudden mountain shower had just swept through, leaving the narrow tarmac slick and dangerous. Jonas Vingegaard entered this stretch as the main overall challenger, fighting to claw back time. Just above him in the standings stood only the race leader, Tadej Pogačar. In a heartbeat, the wet mountain road turned a standard chase into a disaster that altered the fate of the yellow jersey. Managing a moving arena of over 100 cyclists requires a highly coordinated safety net. Scattered throughout the race are neutral service motorcycles, mobile support units carrying spare wheels, medical kits, and technical tools. These motorbikes operate near the front of the action, providing aid to any rider regardless of team. To keep everyone safe, they are bound by strict protocols. They must stay clear of the racing line, maintain a safe distance, and operate within a 60 km/h limit. But on narrow, winding alpine climbs, this safety net is constantly under strain. Dense crowds of spectators press directly against the tarmac, leaving almost no room for error. When something goes wrong in this compressed space, reaction times vanish, leaving the sport's governing race jury to dissect the chaos and apply the rules. Multiple camera angles, including a trailing teammate's action camera and overhead broadcast footage, reconstruct the exact sequence of the crash. The lead group enters the sweeping right-hand bend at approximately 49 km/h. As they negotiate the curve, a roadside spectator steps past the barrier directly toward the racing line, inadvertently placing a bag and a metal water bottle on the road. This sudden hazard forces the front riders to react instantly. Jonas Vingegaard, riding in 5th position, swerves to avoid the debris. But as he changes his line, the neutral service motorcycle directly behind him attempts an emergency maneuver to avoid the spectator. The motorcycle's front wheel clips Vingegaard's rear wheel, breaking his traction. Vingegaard slides sideways across the wet tarmac, triggering a major multi-rider pileup. Isaac Del Toro and Sepp Kuss are swept down in the slide, tumbling into the asphalt behind him. Just ahead of the collision, Tadej Pogačar and Remco Evenepoel manage to brake early and steer clear of the slide, staying upright as the race fractures behind them. The entire sequence takes less than 3 seconds, turning a controlled high-speed descent into absolute chaos. Race doctors reached Vingegaard as he lay on the asphalt, immediately immobilizing his right arm in a sling before moving him into a waiting ambulance. The team's official medical bulletin soon confirmed the extent of the damage, a fractured clavicle and deep abrasions, with clinical staff determining that surgery was required. With that diagnosis, Vingegaard officially abandoned the Tour de France. In an instant, his campaign for a 3rd yellow jersey was over. Vis Malisse. A bike was suddenly left without their general classification leader. For the riders and staff left in the race, the immediate shock quickly gave way to a harsh reality. With their main ambitions shattered on the roadside, they had to regroup and begin the painful process of tactical recalibration. 30 minutes after the stage finish at Plateau de Solaizon, UCI race commissaire Jean-Pierre Moulin convened an emergency meeting. The jury analysed broadcast video, telemetry, and rider statements. They ruled that the neutral service driver was primarily responsible for the collision. The officials immediately withdrew the vehicle from the race and issued a 30-second time penalty to the service provider. Under UCI Article 2.3.020, which covers external interference, the jury officially logged the crash as an outside disruption, ensuring no riders faced penalties. Vis Malisse bike appealed, arguing the driver was solely to blame. The UCI Appeal Board rejected the challenge, upholding the original ruling. Footage of the collision quickly escaped niche cycling feeds, exploding across mainstream global sports networks and social media platforms. The incident fueled wider arguments about race safety and driver accountability. In response, the UCI proposed a 45 km/h limit on narrow curved descents, enforced by real-time GPS tracking. Review discussions also pointed toward mandatory pre-stage briefings for motorcycle drivers, alongside deploying more marshals and physical barriers at high-risk corners. Ultimately, the crash stood out as the first time in decades that a neutral service vehicle directly forced a general classification contender out of the Tour de France. Today, the boundary between spectator passion and rider safety remains dangerously thin. Until cycling secures its arena, its greatest spectacle is also its biggest threat. Share your thoughts below.